Oh, Jesus. Let me just share that. Oh.
Either of y'all ever been to Texas before?
No. I was in Dallas a long time ago.
Okay.
Dallas. Francine does Dallas. Is that what we're getting at? Is that what you're at? Is that Francine does Dallas? Do we want to hear that story? All this
Believe me, I look back and think, Kim Kardashian had it right.
We can save that story for Austin. We can save
Yes, amongst friends.
Amongst friends, behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me just share this and then we're good to go, ladies, lesbianos.
I was going to say, I thought we were lesbians, not ladies.
Politically correct, buddy, when you go live.
Yes, be politically correct.
You got to reduce the hate, buddy. I know I get enough of it. You got to reduce the hate as best you possibly can.
Trying our best.
Trying the best.
Trying hard, not too hard, though.
Fucking do it. Anyone that hates on me can suck my balls.
Everyone out there.
It's good to have haters.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Right. Firstly, I just want to say thank you very much for giving us your time. I know you're busy, which is important. And I know being here, you don't get paid. So that's obviously taken into consideration. So I don't want to ever keep people forever and always because I just don't think it's right. But firstly, what I want to do is I just want to say thank you for, number one, trusting in me and what we're doing and the team and everything else. And number two, doing the fucking work. Because if you do the work, buddy, you end up doing what you did. And most people that will watch this will never get to 15,000 a month or even have the ability to go to 20 and beyond and so on and so forth. Most people that will watch this have been in sales with a little bit of time or a lot of time and are still fucking struggling. And it just beggars belief because it's there for everybody. You know, the education, knowledge, training, experience, connecting with the right people, it's there for everybody. And, you know, I want to kind of just dive into that with you. Why did you decide to come with us, more importantly, but also just as important, what you actually did to get to where you are today. So without further ado, I want to just hand this over to my good friend Alec over there in Texas. Just give us a bit of a rundown between, you know, the last couple of years, how you transitioned into sales, and, you know, what was the decision to come and join us in this mad fucking house that we call the Objection Box, buddy?
Yeah. Well, I want to say thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here and, you know, sit down with you guys. So yeah, so to tell you a little bit about my journey and the reason why I joined Objection Box, really. So I graduated from college. I went the college route, graduated in 2021 from Texas A&M University. And in college, I was like, do I really want to go the 9-to-5 route? Like, I don't know. I started hearing about high ticket sales, you know, and all sorts of other things, the agencies, the e-com, the drop shippings and things of that sort. Eventually, obviously went the sales route. And, you know, I think kind of like most people, they kind of get sold into it as an idea of, wow, this is like, I remember thinking like, wow, I'm just going to jump on Zoom calls all day and talk to people and make 10K a month. Like, sign me up. Like, that sounds amazing. And you kind of get in there and you're like, oh, wait, this is actually not, you have to do some work, and it's not just like jumping on Zoom calls, talking to people that are ready to give you their credit card. Right. And so actually my first ever sales job I got fired within 2 months because I was just I didn't know what I was doing. Right. And so I kind of took a little bit of a step back and then wasn't really going to, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was like, oh, wow. Okay. And I kind of sat there and I was like, well, I do see the potential. And I do see the possibility. Probably need to invest into myself a little bit further and get the right skills, coaching, and, kind of mentors. Right. And, you know, Objection Box was not the first ever sales coaching that I really ever bought. Right. Like I joined another group, and that's where I got sold into the idea again of like it being very easy. And you get in there and you kind of think like, oh, wait, there's actually more to this. It's not as easy as, you kind of make it out to be. And then I actually heard about Objection Box. I had a friend that told me months and months ago, he was like, there's this guy, Bill Walsh. I saw a video of him on YouTube, and he was like, I think I'm going to join. And I kind of just didn't really, like, oh, I've never heard of that guy, Bill Walsh, before. And then I went and watched the YouTube video, and I kind of saw what you were talking about. And I was like, oh, wow, there's kind of levels to this game. And that's kind of when I really started to investigate further and, kind of reaching out to people that I knew. And people were like, yep, I know Bill. It's the real deal. The Objection Box is the place to be. And so ultimately, that's kind of why I went with Objection Box. I just saw that it was the real deal, and you weren't promising that it was going to be easy and that it was going to just, happen overnight. And, and I'm very glad I joined, because I can honestly say it changed my life. So.
Yeah. It's funny, actually, we just had a conversation with the team at 4 o'clock just before we jumped on. And, what we promise and what we give and what I tell people and what, I told you is, you're going to have to work your fucking face off. You're going to have to be ultra dedicated. It's not going to be easy, and you may not even. But if you're willing to give me the time and energy, I'll put you in the best possible position to change your life. And it's up to you what you do after that. It's not a very sexy offer. I mean, it's not a very, oh my God, all I got to do is give you this, and then you're going to give me all this stuff. It's kind of like, I wanted this to, and I want people to understand this. It's like, what I am is, I'm the best gym in the entire world, like the best, no questions asked. And I can say that with the utmost confidence in what it sounds like. But also, just having access to the best gym doesn't mean you're going to have the best six pack. And people are sold on ideas and dreams and fabrications of this industry being easy. As I went over yesterday, there's easily 2,000 to 3,000 people coming into this industry every single month that are sold that it is easy, only to realize that it's fucking very, very hard. And it takes a tremendous amount of energy, commitment, training, and it takes a tremendous amount of shaking hands and connecting with the right people and showing that you are what you say you are and doing what you do. And that's really important, because if we don't do that and we're just, saying what everyone else is saying, guess what we are then? We're just commoditized. Okay. So that's appreciative. We don't do an awful lot of stuff on YouTube, to be quite honest. We don't have a full kind of marketing focus on YouTube. We just kind of recycle a lot of stuff. So that's pretty interesting for us. I didn't know that. So kudos. Yeah. So tell me, you joined, when was that actually? Because you came to London pretty soon after that, right?
Yeah. So I joined in December. I remember I booked my call. So I got onto a new offer in early December, right? The offer I was on prior, they kind of disbanded, and they disbanded, and I got into a new offer, and it was a very, very, it was an offer with a lot of potential. And I was like, man, I don't think I'm not the best version or the best closer that I possibly can be. And so, I want to invest in myself so I can kind of come in and just, do my absolute best with this and, make some money, obviously. And so I reached out. I remember I booked a call on my birthday, which was December 8th of 2022. And, I did it that day for East, because I was like, kind of like my line in the sand moment where I was like, all right, let's go. Like, I'm gonna, I was turning 24, and I was like, okay, it's a line in the sand moment to kind of like really push and pursue this. Right. And so I signed up very end of December. I actually had to take out a loan to join. Like I did not have much money. So I had to take out a loan to join. And by the time the loan kind of went through and everything, it was pretty much like very end of December. I think it was like December 27th or something like that. So we can pretty much call it January. And then, shortly after, obviously went to London. And I can say that the London thing was one of the best experiences I've ever had, I would say.
Yeah. Even first time. That's so weird. Now, mate, now all you're going to think about now when you think of that great moment in your life is me right now.
Bill, I'd been to London one time before that, so don't flatter yourself too much. You know, don't flatter yourself too much.
God, what an absurd arsehole. London was really, really good. What did you take out of London? Because that's interesting to us, because we're just, if people don't know, we're going back to Texas in the middle of September. We've got about 30 something people. I think we're way oversubscribed. We were the place that we rented only wanted us for 25. I think we're like 15 above that now, so that will be interesting. We may be doing the event in the garden, so that'll be interesting. Parts love the game.
Or your house, Alec. How far do you live?
I'm in Dallas, so we might have to make a little road trip.
I'm on Dallas, yeah. That's where he is from.
Doing it in the garden sounds good. You know, I'm just gonna have a request that you start growing out your beard, Bill, so you can kind of like preach like Socrates or Plato. Yes.
I shaved it a couple of weeks or about 2 weeks ago, and I liked it. I was like, fuck, I haven't had it that low in a long, long time. And I shaved it again today, so there you go. But it was all I would come back from Spain, so I had a little bit of a red kind of glow to my skin because I don't tan. So I had a red glow to my skin. So that's why. So tell me about London. What did you take out of London? Because that's interesting to us, and that kind of helps us kind of piece together September in Texas.
Yeah, no, that was, I mean, the reason why I say it was one of the best experiences of my life and just very beneficial and impactful, because, you know, you talk to these people online that do high ticket sales or whatever, right? They do the thing that you're doing, right? And you talk to them online, and then you kind of go and you have your friends that do the normal stuff, and, you know, it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's not the same, right? And then being there in London, it was like, I don't even, you know, not to get like spiritual or woo-woo or anything like that, but it was like, man, there's an energy in this room that all these people are here to, you know, like really everyone's here for a reason, and it's to like, you know, become a better version of themselves. And just being in that kind of environment and that energy, it just gave me this like really big energetic just like push. You know, I was like, man, this is where I want to be. This is, you know, I want to be surrounding myself with these types of people that want to become the best versions of themselves in whatever they're doing, right? And so for me, that was the most impactful thing of it, right? And just obviously being there, learning, and it's different online versus in person, right? When you're in person, it's like watching a game, you know, a sports game, when in person versus online, or if you're playing the game versus, you know, playing a video game of it, it's like, wow, okay, this is actually the real deal. And so really, I think for me, just being there, surrounded by other people that, you know, all wanted to get better at something, that just kind of, it was, I mean, I don't want to say motivating, inspiring. I mean, just like I left there with like a ton of focus, if that's what I'll say.
Cool.
So, yeah.
So what did you go to school for?
So I went as an economics major, and then I realized, wow, this is not fun. And so I switched to communications halfway through, and I graduated with a major in economics and a minor major in communications, minor in economics. So,
okay. And you went this route right from college. You never even went.
Yeah, never even went the 9-to-5 route, thankfully. Yeah. So
what did your parents have to say?
They've always been pretty supportive. You know, I'm lucky that I have good parents. They've always, they've always been very supportive, and, you know, pretty much of everything. So they weren't naysayers. They weren't naysayers. I still have to explain to my grandparents. They're like, do you make money? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, what do you do? And they're like, is that a scam? And so it's
oh my gosh, how funny is that?
Yeah, so they don't understand. My parents, they kind of understand a little bit. I'm actually, my mom, she's, you know, she wants to start getting into setting. So I'm trying to help her kind of, kind of do that. So
Your mom?
How old is she?
Yeah.
She's 50.
50, fuck, she's 15 years younger than Francine. Wow. Maybe you and Francine Maybe you two could set up something.
We could.
You'd be like,
Tell her to call me. We'll talk.
I think y'all, I think you and my mom would actually get along. Y'all both don't give a fuck what anyone says. Oh, probably
No.
not.
Oh,
Yeah.
so she sounds like I would like her. Yes.
I think y'all get along quite well.
Well, what does she do now? Is she in sales?
No. She used to have a photography business whenever we lived in Houston, and now lives in Dallas. And so her whole client base is, she doesn't have any clients. So she's just a stay-at-home mom. For now. Yeah.
She should be getting paid for that.
It's not a job.
How exciting is that? She wouldn't even know about the industry if it weren't for you, would she?
No. Yeah. No. So
I claim to be a stay-at-home mom when you got like 20-something-year-old kids, can you? Not because of
I've got a 15-year-old sister, so she's still nursing them.
Needs supervision.
Yeah. Needs supervision.
Talk to me. So when you joined, like what were the kind of couple of key things that kind of really excelled you? You know, because that's important that people understand that it's not, yes, we on these calls we have a lot of fun, we have a lot of fucking, you know, banter, and we take the piss, and I just basically rip Francine and Ewan all the time, and it's great, it's fun, and it's wonderful and stuff. But we are pretty serious about developing and getting better and all that kind of stuff. So like what were the kind of key things that kind of helped you push on like really, really quickly?
Yeah, I think really the fundamental thing is like what is sales, right? Like what are people booking these calls in for? They're there to get help with some aspect, and or they're there to get help with something, right? Doesn't matter what you're selling, but they're there to get help with something. And whenever you kind of have that simplification of, oh wow, sales is just helping this person, and whatever I'm closing for is obviously a specific thing that they're here for that help with, right? And so your job, I think the biggest thing has just been like the belief of realizing you're not there to convince the person that they should do something. You're there to like genuinely help them. And if you have that belief kind of ingrained into your head, then it will become a lot easier. And that's really what I found is like, you're not just understanding the core fundamental beliefs of what you are doing, what your job is. And once you have that, and once you kind of embody that, I think everything falls into place, especially with the frameworks that, you know, you teach us.
So what are you selling now? Like give everyone an understanding of like your journey over the last kind of since you started, and kind of what you sold and different experiences and stuff like that.
Yeah. So whenever I started the job I got fired from, it was a fitness offer. It was actually, looking back on it, I was like, damn, that was actually a really good offer, and I really fumbled the bag there. So that's how I started off in a fitness offer back in I don't even know exactly when, but did that. And then I went into another fitness offer, and I came on as a setter for those guys and kind of worked my way up into a closer. I think that really helped out in terms of just like understanding the sales process. And then after that, I sold for a junk removal coaching business. And that one, that's a very interesting, very niche offer to, you know, kind of close for. And that was right before I joined that one. That was the offer that early on I mentioned. I had a good offer where I had a potential to make some, you know, pretty good money. And so that's why I invested in the box. And, you know, now what I'm with a crypto offer. So we help people do these things called liquidity pools. It's basically a passive income vehicle, semi-passive income vehicle, I should say. And so this has been, you know, just from another thing that I learned as well, whenever we were in London, you brought Sean out, which was also very, very helpful, because hearing from someone like what you need to look out for and what you need to do, just really, you know, I don't have a ton of years in the game, ton of experience. So hearing that was like, oh, you know, kind of like, oh shit, okay, this is how I need to approach this. And that was very, very helpful as well. So I totally left that out earlier, but just hearing from like an expert in the industry per se, that very much so helped. But whenever I went to London, I was still on the junk removal offer. And then I was through something that I learned from Bill, network, you know, I landed a offer with a crypto, you know, it was a crypto offer. And, you know, I was kind of balancing the two whenever I went to London. And then after London, I was like, okay, the decision's very, very easy. I know exactly what I need to do. And so that's when I went full time with the crypto offer. And that's what I'm doing now. And it's been, yeah, I mean, it's been the best offer that I've ever been on. Learned a hell of a lot. And I obviously would not be here and not be doing as well as I am now without, you know, going through the suck, I guess, because it's easy to like want to get in and start making the money right away. And you're kind of like, oh man. But now that I'm here, I can kind of look back on the journey and I'm like, okay, that was all worth it, you know?
Mhm.
It's like
Well,
when you're doing first and, you know, can't do a push-up.
Yeah.
You can do one of two things. You can give up or you can keep sucking less every day. You know, and
Yep.
most people, and again, look, it's not their fault. They're being sold on the idea of this is an easy industry. All you got to do is pick up the phone and people are ready to go with their credit card. And Francine's laughing because she knows that's what they're selling. But
oh, I know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
it's not, and it's not a fast approach to, you know, making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Most people are fucking broke in this industry, you know, and the inflated egos and the entitlement that most salespeople have is absolutely stifling. So I appreciate you coming in, doing the work, and actually just being humble enough to actually want to do it, you know, and that's the key. Humble enough and you want to do it, everything is going to be achievable, you know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. What was your training regimen that you had to, you know, come up with in order to get to where you got to? Because I know you said you were with something else.
Yeah.
So
Like
when it
what
came
was
to
the
us.
training regimen prior or?
No, when you came to us, what did you do that got you to where you are now
Oh,
for
yeah. I
training?
mean, just attending trainings, like just as many as I can and as many as I could. And like, just like making the time for it as well. Cause obviously, you know, we all take calls and it's like,
Yeah.
well, kind of have to make the time for it. And so really training regimen, I mean, I think I attended, remember when I first started, I would just attend everything. I would book the unstuck calls and I would just sit there and I would say, I don't have anything that I need to get unstuck with. I'm just here to learn, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And so just attending, listening and trying to get, 1% better every day, really.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
I remember when Bill said, I vividly remember Bill saying, don't go through everything whenever you join. What did I do? I went through everything. And, you know, I took it a little bit of a step back after that and kind of just focused
Yeah.
on objections. And, you know, you kind of, the pieces kind of fall into place as they come. And so
Yeah.
training regimen, really, I just tried to show up as much as I possibly could.
Yeah.
yeah. It'd be like Nick Schroeder, you know, pulling 200 kilos off the fucking floor and the deadlift, and then you coming in and saying, "I'm going to do that." You go, you pull it up to your ankle, and then your back pops. That's exactly what people do. So
Mhm.
I tell people, you're going to see a lot of weight around the place. Leave the ego at the door, and you build yourself up to things. There's no point going in and just getting under a bar and, you know, squat 200 kilos if you've never squat before. You know, it makes no sense. So sometimes you got to hurt yourself to find out. You know, when your mom said to you as a kid, don't touch that button or don't touch the hot stove, what do kids do? Touch the hot stove. You're like, well, you fucked around and now you found out, kid, didn't you? Did you ever see that film? Or did you ever see that video where your man is like, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's, yeah, he has the chart and the graph and everything. The more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
Yeah, exactly right. So you're on a farming offer then, is that what they call those? Into the farming kind of
Yeah, pretty
equipment.
much. That's yield farming. Yeah, pretty much.
So a lot of that is going to be, you know, a lot of insecurity, a lot of fear, a lot of I need to speak to my wife, my partner, my this, my that. It's a lot of, you know, getting people at their own way to invest in something that they don't actually know anything about. So a lot of objections, a lot of problems. What objections are you facing probably on every second call do you see?
I would say, what objections do I get? I would say people, I get a lot of think about it, really. I get a lot of think about it because it's crypto and we can't promise what will happen or what won't happen, right?
Mhm.
And so I do think about it's because they're like, well, I don't know, the future of crypto, so it's just think about it. It's just fear, right? It's just to think about it, fear. That's kind of all it is.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I mean, that's really what you see for the majority of them. We get a couple partner objections and things of that sort.
Mhm.
But yeah, majority of it, think about it, get some logistics as well, like logistical objections. But those people that give logistical objections, they typically, I mean, they end up going on and closing, right? Because to be a part of the offer, like you need at least like 10 to 15K. And so people are like, okay, yeah,
Mhm.
I want to do this, but I need to, move money around and things of that sort. So just even being able to handle that, like logistical, like just being able to understand and have the competence to understand, oh, okay, this is just a logistical thing. Like, how can I help? And then, so just, it's the little things, I think it's the little things. And that's what I've learned more and more from being part of Objection Box is just, it is the littlest things. And you're not just going to jump on a call and close every single person under God's green earth, right? Like it's just the little things are going to add up. And if you can do the little things right, then you'll make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, where do you want to be? Like, what's the kind of journey that you see yourself on for the next 12, 18, 24 months?
It's a good question. That's actually a very good question. I'm actually moving to Tampa I'm moving to Tampa in October. So that's going to be the start of a new chapter for me. So, I mean, it's a good question. I don't know exactly where I want to be or what I envision. I mean, I kind of have a rough idea of what I want life to look like. And I don't know exactly what that is though. I know like obviously there's income goals that I want to hit, but I'll be honest, like I don't want to be closing forever. Like I want this to kind of be for me, this is like a launch pad and a stepping stone to go on and do kind of bigger and better things, and I feel like understanding part of the reason I got into sales was to understand because, oh, wow, sales is a great skill, sales and marketing and all that stuff. And so it's like, okay, understanding the sales prospect or process of it is very, very beneficial. And obviously you can make a lot of money. And so I was like, okay, well, let's sign me up. And so I don't want to be doing this forever. I don't know how soon I would like to get out. I wouldn't even say I want to get out right now because the offer I'm on, the business owner is very, very like such a down to earth guy. And like, there's a lot of crypto offers that make these false promises and hopes. And if anything, this guy under promises and then over delivers. And so it makes it a lot easier doing that. So I'm not in a hurry to get out of this offer, but in 12, 24 months, I mean, I want to do something kind of branch out on, I don't know what it's going to look like, but something with just a little bit more leverage, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, I really want to learn the marketing and the copywriting piece and, kind of I just need to grow out my beard and my hair and I'll become Alex Hormozy Jr. So.
I know.
That's your goal.
Yeah, that's my goal. Alex Hormozy Jr.
Who's in Tampa?
Kishan lives in Tampa. So
that's what I was leaning towards. I was wondering where is that? So that's where you're doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Kishan and Philip, who's
new. Yeah. Did you know each other before here?
Yeah, I knew Kishan and James go way back. Actually, I don't know if y'all know this, but
oh, okay. I knew you and James.
Yeah, last summer, Kishan and James all got on the same offer as setters, and let's just say we would not be in that position today, knowing what we know now. So we all were in the trenches with that offer for probably 2-3 weeks. I don't know. I left a little bit earlier than they did, but we were in the trenches all together on that offer. And so I've known Kishan and James for a good while now. And
wow.
we actually we stayed in an Airbnb in London. We all roomed together. We all shared a bed. So please don't judge.
You all shared a bed?
I'm just kidding.
Jeez. Gonna say you make enough money to have your own bed, for God's sake.
I'm just kidding. That's a joke.
It's funny, like, because to go from that to where you three guys are now in the space of under a year, like it's a bit mental. Like most of you, the three of you guys are doing really, really big stuff, you know. And it's funny, like most people in this industry don't do jack shit. Mm-hmm. And most people in this industry talk a lot of shit without producing a lot of shit. And I see that all across the board. I see that with competitors. I see that with people that want to badmouth. I see people, you know, that want to, you know, talk shit and talk their garbage. But yet, when you say to them, okay, well, show me what you've done. Show me who you are. Show me what you've achieved. And then it's like, no, I'm just going to keep talking shit. You're like, okay, that's exactly what I thought. So see what you guys have done, you know, is inspiring, because you guys are, like, I'm 30, Francine is like 78. And like, if I was your age now, like, with knowing what you guys know now, with the experience and the training and the education that you guys have and that kind of mindset, because, you know, you're growth oriented people, the three of you, I'd be retired by now. So brilliant. I love to see it. I love to see young guys taking control, young girls taking control of different things, and, you know, wanting to really develop or wanting to grow. And whatever comes for you next, you just know that sales is something that you're going to be locked down on. Because yes, you can have this idea, but if you can't sell it and you can't market it, you know, you're just a could be Amazon. You know?
Yep.
So I think you've done really the right thing. Is you've learned one skill first, and then potentially go learn another skill. And what you have right now, buddy, is you don't have the anxiety, you know, and you're going to be like, what anxiety? And I'm going to tell you. The anxiety is that you have to make things work. So let's say you started as a copywriter. Now, to be a copywriter, you're going to have to, you know, be really fucking good, because it's really competitive. Same thing. But what you have right now is you've learned the right stuff from the right people, i.e. me. And you ultimately now have a great skill, and you also have a great network, which means now that the pressure is off you. So you can go and learn marketing. You can go and learn, you know, how to build a business in whatever capacity. You can go and learn copywriting, because you know your house is always going to be protected, because as long as you speak to 20 people a week, you're going to make 10, 20 grand every single month. So that pressure, and that anxiety and that kind of like need, want, and desire is off, because you already have your house protected. You already have enough coming in from the full-time job that you can, you know, distribute some of that extra time to a different skill. And that's key. You know, it's done it the other way. I know that for a fact. If you went and tried to learn copywriting, you're talking years before you can get to 15 grand a month.
Yeah.
So quick sales is, and it's a fucking fantastic industry. I wish I knew it when I was 24, 25 years of age, but I didn't. It was only 28 when I found it. So there it is. There it is. So, Francine.
We envy you.
We envy you, that's for sure. I don't want to keep you forever and always. I appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you've done. I appreciate your growth and, you know, your want and desire to continue to get better. I think that's a fantastic idea, going down and living with the two guys, because basically three hungry men wanting to do really, really good stuff and helping a lot of people. You know, and that's something that, you know, is really gonna, you know, I want to keep my eye on that, because if I can help you guys, I absolutely will. You'll have some sort of plan come together, and if I can support it, I most certainly will. That's for sure. So I always leave the last one a couple of questions, just to make her feel important, just to make her feel like
maybe feel like I'm worth something, you know.
She is valued around here. So Francine, you can
throw me a bone every now and again. Well, tell us, like, you as a person, because Lord knows there's work, but you're young. Hope you have a personal life. So what do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? Well, I'm actually going to, I've always enjoyed playing sports. So I remember the first time I talked to Bill as well, we were talking about tennis. Sales is tennis, but I've been playing a lot of tennis. I mean, I enjoy playing tennis, going to them. I'm actually going to New York tomorrow for the US Open. So that'll be fun. Going with some friends that are they don't do the high ticket sales stuff, but going with some friends. We're gonna go to the US Open and yeah, just have fun. Have a good old time.
It's like on the fourth round now, is it?
I think it's third. Should be like it's gonna be the third round tomorrow, Friday. So
Going to the big, you're going to the little places around it.
Who's playing? We want to see Djokovic play, so we haven't bought tickets yet. So yeah.
Jesus, don't say that. Bite to the Serbians, they'll fucking rip your head off.
What's the proper way to say it?
As far as I know, is Djokovic.
That's what I said. Djokovic.
As far as
I don't know what it is.
Don't say that to the Serbians. They'll fucking go bonkers at your ass.
Well, good thing I'm not going.
God knows, New York. Better be careful.
The only one not to take the COVID jab.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. How funny that was.
I know.
Jeez. They kicked him out of Australia, remember, because he wouldn't take the fucking jab. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They kicked him out.
I love New York. So you're going to New York to go and watch the tennis on a fucking Thursday when everyone else is in their 9 to 5 and can't take a day off.
Mm-hmm. And waiting for the long weekend so they can finally be free.
It's so weird because I've started to realize now, looking at friends and, just like people, I'm like, I try to be as grateful as I can. And it's crazy because this is literally just, take calls, open my calendar whenever I want. Hey, I can't take calls. I'm going to New York. Mm-hmm. Hey, like it's, very lucky and blessed, but it's so easy to kind of look that over. And this luck, I've never come from a 9 to 5 world. So, yeah. It's just kind of, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy when you really think about it.
Yeah. Well, you worked hard, so you deserve it.
In the Army, we used to have to put in our application for holidays, for vacations. And let's say there was a big event coming up or whatever, you would have to put it in months in advance. And you could wait to the last day and the CEO could turn around and say to you, no, all leave is cancelled. So, that kind of stuff, is really important because like you can go to New York and work for 2-3 hours, or you could go and do fuck all. You know what I mean? That's that freedom that we talk about, but you don't get that freedom if you're not good at what you do. Because if you're not good at what you do and you're still doing sales, you're going to have to work hours and hours and hours to try and make what you should be making. You know what I mean? And that's cool. So good. Well, enjoy. So you're going tomorrow?
Yeah, going tomorrow. It's going to be a busy month of traveling for me for September. I'm going New York, and then I'm going to Austin. I'm going to Austin twice. Yeah. I'm going to Austin. There's another like sales meetup, some guys from Twitter that, it's just like a networking thing. And I wasn't going to go, but I was like, fuck it, like network, like you never like the crypto offer I got right now is from my network. And so I'm going to go just network with the lads. And then after that, come into Austin to see good old Billy Boy himself. Gonna get you a cowboy hat.
Yes, cowboy hat, cowboy boots. Line me up.
Cowboy. Cowboy hat, cowboy boots. So
what's the meetup? Is that like Kashan's crew and where they coaches are closers cartel, or is that what it is?
No, it's not. It's not those guys. It's another guy's name's Dylan. He's also from. It's Dylan and Dylan Vergara and John Cardis. They do, one of these guys, John, he did really well with closing, and he created a SaaS for basically reviewing calls. And so it's actually really cool. It's called I don't think it's called call.io or something like that. And it's like to help salespeople, or, it reviews your calls for you. So it's really interesting. So, just going to, surround myself with those people. Right.
His name is Cardis.
Yeah.
I remember seeing something about the SaaS that you can review your own calls. I have to look at that.
Yeah.
Very good. Well,
Very nice.
always said
But
hi.
we love you. Can't wait to see you in person.
I know. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Right.
Thank you.
Last question, Francine. Go for it, sister. What you got? Don't be boring, old Sally. Now, come on. What you got?
He tells me I'm boring. What's something most people don't know about you, including us?
Good question. What is something that most people don't know about me? Ooh.
Ever been arrested or like anything? I'm just kidding.
I mean, only 12 times. So, I mean, it's not really a secret anymore. You know, you can find the
I can see
mugshots.
your picture in the post office and stuff like, I guess.
You don't have to look too hard. Something that a lot of people don't know about me. That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I'll go with the cliche. I'm very close with my family. I don't know. I mean,
It's good.
yeah, super.
Yeah, most 20-somethings aren't. I'm gonna have you
I
talk
know.
to my kids.
It's interesting because you kind of see that in college, and you see like people don't call their moms or their dads, and they don't talk to their siblings, and I'm like, it's just kind of, I don't know, just kind of, it's just interesting. Same thing with work, same thing with family. Like you just kind of see how blessed you are, and so I'm very close to my family, and I'm very lucky.
Well, it's not, you have good values, and it just like carried you through this. I love that.
Good values. Is that what you're telling us, Francine?
Yes, he has very good values.
Are you telling us your kids don't have good values?
Oh, those two? Yeah, it's a whole nother story. I don't know. I don't know where I went wrong. I don't know where I went wrong, people. They're good kids. They won't be taking care of me when I'm old, but they're good kids. Let's put it that. That's why I'm still here, Alec. Don't be Francine, where you're selling at 62. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you mean? Like, don't be telling people you're 62 when you're 78. Right. We've enough of Alec's time. Appreciate you, buddy. Really impressed with the work you've done. Really impressed with your effort, and the commitment. There's probably more than one or two times where I've just grabbed you in a virtual capacity by the throat and say, hey, buddy, this is not good enough. This is not what we're about. This is the standard. This is not the standard that we have around here. And, I appreciate you wanting to keep going, wanting to keep pushing, and wanting to keep getting after. And it comes back to then your sports days. I'm sure there was plenty of times when you were playing sports, things didn't go your way, and you have to come back and you have to keep fighting. And that's something that most people don't fucking understand when it comes to sales, is they're so fucking weak mentally, they're fucked. Anyway, don't want to go on a rant. But look, guys, if you want to have more conversations and you want to make more money and you want to, do what we do inside the objection box, and you want to, be a part of what we're all about and have that type of standard in your life, give us a message, give us a message about whatever it is you're struggling with. If we can help, we will definitely help. If we can't, we'll point you in the direction of the people that can help. Definitely won't point you in the direction of fucking tree huggers and, people don't want to sing Kumbaya going around the fucking fires and all that bullshit. So, point you in the right direction. Most people don't know where that is, but that's unfortunate.
Oh my God.
Lots of love, lots of respect. I'll see you in Texas. Bring your cowboy hat and your cowboy boots and your arseless chaps, and we'll have a good old party. See you later. Francine, good luck.
All right. Safe travels. Bye.
All right.